Welcome, cosmic travelers, to the edge of the unknown. Before we dive into today's mystery, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments where you're tuning in from. Whether you're watching from the neon sprawl of Tokyo or the quiet deserts of Mars Colony 2, we want to hear your voice. Now, strap in. Today's story isn't just about a strange world. It's about a secret buried in humanity's bones. The planet designated K781 orbits a dying star in the Andromeda Reach, a place so remote that light from its sun takes 10,000 years to brush the edges of human-explored space. Its discovery was an accident, a flicker of anomalous radiation caught by a deep space probe. But what scientists found when they arrived defied every law of physics and sanity. K781 is a world where time flows backward. Not metaphorically, not a poetic reversal of seasons or aging. Here, cause and effect are inverted. Rain rises from puddles to gather in clouds. Fire freezes matter into fuel. Creatures walk unborn from graves to infancy. The research team's initial reports read like madness. The trees ungrow. The rivers flow uphill. We watched a mountain crumble, then rebuild itself from debris. But the true horror, the revelation that forced the United Colonies to classify all data, was this. Every non-human organism on K781 is extinct. The forests are fossilized, the oceans sterile. Only humans thrive here, or rather, persist. The colonists who first landed found their outpost pre-abandoned. Empty beds still warm. Meals half-eaten or half-uneaten, depending on your temporal perspective. Security feeds showed settlers moving in reverse, their faces locked in silent screams as they retreated into shuttles that had not yet arrived. But the most chilling discovery was in the caves. Petroglyphs depicting human figures, building. The planet's infrastructure, towers, reactors, terraforming engines, in reverse. As if the colonists had always been meant to dismantle what they had never built. Dr. Lear Amaro, the team's temporal physicist, theorized that K781 exists in a causal loop. Actions here do not create consequences. They fulfill them. When a biologist accidentally broke a flask, the glass shards leaped from the floor to reassemble in her hand. She hadn't dropped it, she had caught it from the future. But the crew's curiosity soon turned to dread. They began experiencing echoes, flashes of actions they hadn't taken yet. The engineer saw himself sabotaging the ship's engines. The medic dreamt of injecting a colleague with an unknown toxin. These weren't premonitions. They were memories of a future already set in stone. Then, on the 17th day, they found the vault, buried beneath the planet's core. A facility older than the stars themselves. Its walls were lined with symbols matching humanity's oldest linguistic fossils. Proto-Indo-European glyphs, Sumerian cuneiform, even the primordial hums of the whale songs from Europa's archives. Inside, a single hologram flickered to life of a human. Or something close. Its eyes burned with the light of 1,000 supernovae, and its voice shook the room. You should not have come. The message repeated in every known human language, ancient and modern, before ending in a warning carved into the vault's floor. The experiment must not be unbroken. But it was too late. As the team fled, the planet's star, which scans had shown to be stable for millennia, began to collapse. Not into a black hole, but out of one. Light retracted, heat drained, and aboard the ship, the crew's final transmission was not a distress call, but a laugh. A manic, guttural sound that played backward into a whimper. The United Colonies declared K781 quarantined, a temporal hazard, but whispers persist. They say the vault's hologram was not an alien, but a mirror. A reflection of what humanity once was, or will become. And that the experiment on K781 wasn't designed to reverse time, but to reverse extinction. The collapse of K781's star was not an end. It was a beginning that had already happened. As the research team's ship hurtled away from the disintegrating system, the crew realized their engines were not obeying commands. Thrusters fired in reverse. Navigation charts rewrote themselves. Even their thoughts seemed to unravel, words dissolving into gibberish before forming meaning. Dr. Maros' final hypothesis flickered through the chaos. Time isn't a river here, it's a mirror, and we're the crack in the glass. Back on K781, the planet's surface folded inward. Mountains inverted into valleys. Dead oceans boiled into clouds that rained upward. But the vault remained. Its hologram, now visible in every reflection aboard the ship, continued its warning. The figure's fragmented speech began to coalesce. You are both the spark and the ash. The experiment was never meant to be observed, only remembered. The crew's logs, corrupted by temporal radiation, revealed the truth in pieces. Scraps of footage showed them returning to the planet before they'd left. A voice, warped and inverted, whispered, "The catastrophe we're fleeing. We are the ones who caused it." Humanity's ancestors, it seemed, had not merely tampered with time. They had weaponized it. Millennia ago, a galactic cataclysm, a wave of antimatter-devouring star systems, forced them to engineer a failsafe. K781 was designed as a temporal anchor, a place where cause and effect could be rewoven to erase the disaster before it began. But the experiment required a paradox: survivors to trigger the reset. When none endured, the planet became a tomb for a timeline that refused to die. The research team, drawn to K781 by curiosity, had unknowingly completed the loop. Their arrival was the final variable. Every action they took, sampling the soil, activating the vault, even their panicked flight, had already happened. They were not explorers. They were relics. Living ghosts in a story written backward. The engineer's vision of sabotage came to pass. He found himself rerouting power to the engines, not to escape, but to ensure the ship would stall at the precise moment required. The medic's dream unfolded in reverse. She awoke to find her colleague dead, the toxin in her syringe replaced with a cure she would administer yesterday. The crew's laughter in their final transmission. It wasn't madness, it was grief. They had seen the truth. Humanity survived K781 not because of resilience, but because of guilt. The hologram's warning was a confession. The ancestors had engineered the planet to resurrect their lost civilization by reversing extinction itself. But to do so, they had to imprint their genetic code into the fabric of reality. A code that evolved, over inverted eons, into the humans of today. The colonists who abandoned the outpost were never real. They were echoes of the researchers' own future, playing out in reverse. A memory of a people who would exist only if the experiment failed. As the ship's engines failed, the crew faced their irreversible fate. The collapsing star began to vomit light, not into space, but out of it. A shockwave of antimatter, older than the universe, surged from the heart of K781. It was the very cataclysm the ancestors had tried to erase. By interfering, the team had restored it. In their last moments, the researchers understood. The vault's message was not a plea to leave, but a plea to stay, to let the experiment succeed, to dissolve into the loop and become the ancestors they were meant to save. But it was too late. The antimatter wave spread, erasing star systems in reverse chronological order. Civilizations flared into oblivion, their histories unwriting themselves. The researchers watched as Earth's own history flickered. World War III unscarred the planet, the Mars colonies unbuilt, the first moon landing undone, until humanity itself was reduced to a possibility, a might have been. But on K781, the vault endured, and inside it, the hologram's final words looped eternally. We are the error. We are the patch. The experiment continues. Today, K781 drifts in the Andromeda Reach, untouched. The United Colonies deny its existence. But those who have glimpsed classified data swear the planet's star still burns, backward. And somewhere, In the silence between seconds, the research team's ship is still fleeing, still arriving, still laughing, still screaming. As for humanity, we persist, not because we survived the catastrophe, but because we invented it. Our existence is the glitch in time's code, a paradox that shouldn't be. And somewhere in the future past, our ancestors are still trying to fix us. If you've made it this far, you're one of us, a cosmic detective piecing together the universe's secrets. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and blast your theories into the comments below. Tell us where you're watching from, and who knows, maybe your city's next on our journey through the unknown. Until then, keep looking backward. You never know what's looking forward.